Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you another episode of my Prison Architect series. In today's episode, episode number 9, we're going to go ahead and continue to basically expand the prison. Right now we're going ahead and adding in some more cell blocks, which as you can see is a work in progress in this section here is our normal risk if you are new to the series. So we've got over here to my right, we've got, this is the low risk wing, which can host quite a lot of people. Then we've got our normal risk in the middle, and then at the far end here we've got a very small maximum risk security over here. So we don't have anything else outside of that. I know there is others like protective custody, supermax and death row. However, for the time being and probably the series, we're only sticking with this 3 securities. Along with that, I'm going ahead and I need to upgrade the canteen as well a little bit, or I need to go ahead and add in more cookers, I think. That's the real thing. Maybe also, I think we've got enough chefs to be fair, but... or do we have enough chefs? That's the thing, it's just eating time after eating time after eating time, so maybe we need to go ahead and add in some more chefs, because even though if we very quickly jump into regime, we can see that our eating times are all different. Or one of them overlaps there actually a little bit, but in general they're much more different, and that is a good and a bad thing. It means that not everyone's in this place at the same time, but it means that it's probably more and constant pressure put on the cooks. As we can see, they're near enough all busy, which is a good thing, yes, but at the same time I should maybe go ahead and add in 1 or 2 more just to go ahead and, in a sense, just relieve that pressure. We've actually only got 4, so that's them up to 6 now, and that'll hopefully go ahead and just ease things. As we can see, there's people sitting in here, which they could be in here for their free time, to be fair. What are you up to? And it looks like you've got something in your hands. Can we go ahead and search the prisoner? Aye, now you run. You got something on you. It sort of looks like you do. Like some pills maybe or something like that. I'm not really at all sure. Addicted to cocaine, so that would be understandable. Yup, a cell phone's been found, so that is not good for you. So you're gonna be off to solitary confinement. So that was quite a good spot by me. I don't think it was a cell phone. However, or maybe it's medical stuff. I'm not really at all sure, but nonetheless, he's been searched, he's been found with the mobile phone, so he's either getting escorted back off to his cell, which it looks like it, or he'll go down to solitary, where one of his friends is, funnily enough. Anyway, back on with the job here. So, as I can also see, one thing that I can notice is that all of the cookers are also full, and all the fridges are also full as well, so I'm going to go ahead and add in some more of those. So let's go ahead and add in 2 more cookers, and we'll go ahead and rotate them. I think, oh, how are we going to do this? We could do this multiple different ways actually, so we'll add you guys in the middle of the room there. Or should we do that? Yeah, I think we'll add in 1 more cooker and 1 more fridge. I think that's probably a good bet, so we'll go ahead and add these in back to back in the middle of the room. Again, I could go ahead and extend the kitchen, but for the time being I think everything is fine in there. We just need to go ahead and essentially remove a lot of these dirty food trays as well. I don't know where all the chefs have just disappeared to, mind you, but I'm sure they'll get that sorted out very, very shortly. Right, so let's go ahead and turn my attention now to our grants, because that is something which we're going to go ahead, and I mean that gives us a lot of money. We're up to an amazing profit actually per day, 9,000, that is absolutely amazing. However, it's something which I want to continue, and also my overall cash stack isn't very high, and if I want to go ahead and, say for example, add in a extremely large prison block, which I really like to do and continue and try and get up to as many prisoners as possible, and I need to go ahead and have the money to upgrade the facilities. So right now, as we can see, we are currently still in the middle of the reform through education initiative. Right now we're still waiting on that 10th person passing that course. Really taking their time, unfortunately there. I just need 1 more person to pass, and we can see that there is people in here, and also not long as well until the workshop should be in use also, which will be good. Along with that, let's go ahead and check the program. So right now we have a class going on which is to do with the Foundation Education program. That's going quite well. There is 9 people which have passed and 26 which have finished, and people which are also currently studying in that class as well right now. I am waiting to go ahead and start the general one so we can go ahead and complete that grant and get ourselves $40,000. But we can go ahead and take ourselves out a new grant now. So interestingly, that's one I really want to work towards by the end of this series, or by the end of the next episode, is Cell Block C. I think that'd be a really good one. What about pay money into investment fund, which will ultimately give a reasonable return on your initial sum. That is... yeah, we could do that. I mean, waiting for funds. Well, at the same time, do I really need to do that? I don't really know if I do, so remove the supply of stolen tools and remove the supply of stolen weapons. So tools clean up. So following a number of incidents in other prisoners involving stolen items, a group is performing studies on the distribution of tools and weapons throughout the prison. This part of the trial involves taking or trying to remove all such items from your prison population. $20,000, I quite like that, and as well, crack down on drugs, find 10 illegal narcotics. We can go ahead and do probably both of these back to back. Essentially, we got that one straight away actually, which was quite good, and I've got a feeling we might be the same with this one here as well, though we're unfortunately not. So we need to go ahead and just remove these items, and how are we going to do that? Essentially, we just need to go ahead and do some shakedowns and all that sort of stuff. So we did a shakedown in the last episode. We're going to go ahead and do another one now and see if we can find some stuff. As we can see, we're already finding some stuff, but will it be relevant to this grant? I'm not at all sure. One thing I do want to do though is jump into bureaucracy, and I want to go ahead and unlock some more stuff. So we need to go ahead and unlock the legal department. I think that would be a good idea going forward. Along with that, oh, now that is why our money went up. It's because we completed tax relief, which was a very, very, very good thing to unlock. However, offshore tax haven, what is this? So this is your accountant stretches the rules to breaking point, and essentially, I'm not going to read that whole paragraph, but the bottom line is I go ahead and save a total of 30,000 per 10,000 of taxes, so that would be a good save as well, but I don't have 50,000 to go ahead and do that. I do just want to go ahead and unlock all these small ones as well though, because we might as well. Taser's body armor, not really bothered about that for the time being though, so we'll close out of this and we'll continue on with what we're working towards. So one of the things I want to go ahead and do is try and build a lot more of these rooms as well before we go ahead and finish off the series, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So we're going to build another building all the way along here at the end, and we're going to go ahead and basically put a lot of these rooms in it. So let's go ahead and grab myself foundation, let's grab myself concrete, and let's go ahead and essentially build this room right here. So this is going to be 20 down and it's going to be 30 wide, so that's going to cost me 10,000, quite a lot, but it'll be able to fit a shit ton of rooms into it. That's going to take a while to build, so I'll let my workers slowly work on that. I do think I now need to go ahead and we have some cells which we can go ahead and make cells as well, so we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll also add in some more staff as well, because I think the time has come to go ahead and do that. As well, we have the money right now, so we just might as well take advantage of it. So let's go ahead and grab cells. We've got 73 cells right now, and that is going to turn into a whopping 83, 84, 85, and then 86 cells all in all. So, or 85 cells, 86 cells, same thing really when that bed gets in. So 86 is really, really close to 100 actually, and that's definitely want to reach 100 anyway by the end of the next episode. So the shakedown's still in place. We're going to go ahead and jump back up to ×3 and see that through. Next thing I want to go ahead and look at is actually the prisoner's needs. Really not been in here in a long time, but I mean, we're not really getting much complaints, that's the thing though, so in general I just can't really complain. Recreation is the biggest concern right now, but a lot of, I mean, it's mainly met with most prisoners. It is starting to go up, so is hygiene, exercise, but all these things drop down over time. So in general, I don't really think I need to pay much attention to that recreation. You've got a common room, so you can go ahead and use that if you want to, and bar that, I'm not really going to go ahead and accommodate for any more for the time being. So with that done, we're going to go ahead, and we've dropped in profit quite a bit all of a sudden actually. It's a real shame. We were at, what, 9,000, now we're back down to 6,000. Not that 6,000 is bad, 6,000 is good, but I obviously want the more money. So we're going to go ahead and hire in 3 more guards, maybe a bit unnecessarily, but of course the more prisoners, the more guards I want to have. Along with that, we're also going to go ahead and add in another doctor as well, just because I think we need to go ahead and also start to look at this as well, so it's our prison grading. So as we can see here, we've got punishments quite good, reforms actually off 0, which is good, security is strong, but health is not, and that's something which I want to focus on for a little bit. So in this new building as well, over here to the left, we're also going to be building a morgue, and that is something which I think will be very, very useful to have. So how's this building going to work? It's going to be one large building essentially with a hallway in the middle with lots of rooms off of it. That's how this room's going to work. It's not going to be like this block over here, for example. So we're going to go ahead and install a large jail door there, and then we'll do another large jail door down the bottom. It's not going to be opened up for a while, this bit, but when we have built a lot of it, then we'll go ahead and open it up. I also need to go ahead and very temporarily go ahead and add in some more electrical cables into there, and that will allow for this cooker and fridge to actually get used properly. As you can see, that fridge is also already full, and the good thing is though, I'm quite happy, we can see that near enough every single spot on the serving table is now filled up, so in general I'm much happier about how things are looking. So our maximum security prisoners are, there's only 3 of them right now actually, is that true? Let's go ahead and see. So yeah, it is in general actually. I could go ahead and take a few more of yous, and I think I will take some more of yous actually for the time being. Only 3 of yous. I think the reason is because I've turned that off and I've wanted to go ahead and, what's going on? Oh, it's new prisoners are coming in. Always concerned when that goes to 0. Really always am. But I think we can go ahead and take in a few more. Maybe just like 2 or 3 more, but not that many. But just, I mean, we have the room. So let's go ahead and jump into our reports, and let's go ahead and jump into our intake. Let's go ahead and take in 9. That's quite a lot. Well, essentially that's 6. That's going to fill up. I think we're going to do that though. I think that's a good idea. So we're going to get a large payment as well, and that's definitely going to go ahead and increase our daily cash flow as well. That will fill up our prison for the time being, and the new prisoners have arrived in as well. So definitely the house is now much fuller. As we can see here, the canteen's still fit for purpose, though barely, very barely. So I definitely think it is time to go ahead and work on this as well. So we are going to go ahead and add in a, well, not just a small extension, quite a large extension actually, and essentially double the size of it. Now we're starting to get this money, I think it's a really good idea to go ahead and do this. So this part of it's interestingly going to be built out of concrete, which is something which I'm totally for, and it's going to go ahead and extend this by, oh yeah, 10 by 20, so that is a relatively large extension. I might also extend the kitchen a little bit, but essentially we're just going to have lots of benches along the bottom here, and probably add in some more serving tables too. This building is now built, which is good. I am going to need to go ahead and add in some services over to it though. What are we looking at though for our power usage? Because I'm getting a feeling it's getting quite close to the top, and I might need to go ahead and very shortly add in a new power station. Right, so as we can see, this new building is now built, which is good. So let's go ahead and connect it up to the main frame with electricity first of all. That's going to be one of the main things, and along with that we'll also give it water once I work out actually what's properly going to be in this building. So let's go ahead and start to build some rooms. So first of all, what rooms are we actually going to have in here? Well, we probably want to go ahead and add in, this is going to be a mixture. It's going to be a lot of service stuff, and it's also going to be stuff for prisoners. So it's, yeah, it's going to be a real mixture, a real mixture. So stuff like security, offices for your officers, which I think will be a good idea, so we'll go ahead and put you in there. You're going to be, we're going to do 5x5s along here actually, so that's going to be the security office. Then along with that we're going to have the parole room, which is going to be a 5x5, so that really gets, that room will be interesting. That basically decides if a prisoner goes out on parole or not. Along with that I think we should have the morgue, which is where we send our dead prisoners and staff to, so we'll go ahead and put that in, and I think that'll go ahead and improve health as well going forwards. Along with that, what else is there I want to go ahead and do? So the shop and the mail room as well, I think both of these will be very useful to have. So we'll add you in there at the mail room, then we'll add the shop in, let me think about this, opposite, you'll go in there. And then anything else, we'll have the library in here as well. I'll make you quite a large library actually, because I want the prisoners to get a lot of use out of this. And on top of that, I can't really see anything else. A chapel actually, that's a big one. I have a chapel, so you can be at 5x5. Again, we might extend these though, it just really depends. We'll have the library, we'll just make these a 5x5 for the time being actually. And then is there another room we can get in here? Because so far this is working out really well. however I have mucked up. Alright, so there's not really any more rooms that I can really put in, quote unquote. I could go ahead and do a forest, but I mean that's not going to be inside, so for the time being there's going to be an extra 7 rooms in this building, and we can go ahead and there'll be plenty of room for more going forward as well. So let me go ahead and basically build all these walls in between all these individual rooms, and then we'll go ahead and actually turn them into rooms. So now all of this is starting to get built, which is good, so we'll go ahead and add in some more objects and actually turn these from just empty rooms into their actual proper official rooms. Also built the extra room there for the future as well, which I think is a good idea. We're gonna go ahead and right now we've left this area at the back. This is sort of, it's a weird shape. I could go ahead and turn it into a storage room, however for the time being I think I'll just leave it in. Any more rooms which come up on the horizon we'll go ahead and we will make use of that. Turning my attention while that gets built back over to here, we need to go ahead and demolish that wall there, and then we need to go ahead and build that wall in there, and we need to go ahead and build the wall in there, and then we can go ahead and extend our canteen area. I think this is definitely needed now because as you can see there's just not as much room as there once was to go ahead and move around. It's just not as pretty as it once was. People coming in, people coming out at an extremely fast rate, as we can see. I mean the kitchen's handling it fine, it looks like, so I mean I can't really complain all in all. However, I think we could just do with a little bit more room because it seems a bit cramped, if you understand what I'm saying. So with that modification now to the bottom, we can go ahead and demolish this wall along here. For the time being I'm not going to extend the kitchen, I don't think, or should we? Nah, I think I'll leave it for the time being. However, I'll sort of leave a bit of room in that corner that if we do need to go ahead and extend it, then we can. So let me go ahead and jump back into here and jump and find canteen, and then let's go ahead and extend this canteen out. So let's go ahead and quite a large extension actually, as you can see, and this means the canteen, yes, is a very weird shape, but it's sort of all around the kitchen, which I actually quite like. So what we're going to go ahead and do is adding another serving table, which is going to go here, and that will allow for more food to be put out. Then along with that we're also going to go ahead and add in lots more tables and lots more benches as well. Maybe too many, but I think it'll be a good idea to have lots more in here. Right, so there we go, so that is the extension done there. As we can see right now, overlapping eating times, and this is what I mean, this place is just absolutely beyond chaotic. So at least we've got this extension down the bottom now, which is much better, so this is going to get used. I'm going to go ahead and work on the regime a little bit though, because it really is not perfect. So because everyone now is in a sense on their, I mean they've got their own block, I don't need to worry about stuff like shower times or, I mean, yard is shared, the eating area is shared, but bar that, nothing else is shared, so I can really go ahead and modify this a lot. Right, so this now is the altered timetable which I've came up with, so a little bit different, and, I mean, for example, showers, we're going to have showers in the morning and the evening now, just because we can. Really easy to go ahead and do. It's then sort of just a bit of going ahead and rotating around the yard, and also the eating in the free time, the work time, just not having them conflicting, so as long as we don't have anything conflicting from 8 AM in the morning to 9 PM at night, then we're fine. Again, showers in the evening and then straight to beds, and then that works out really, really well all in all. I really can't fault the system at all there, we'll see how that works. So that's a little bit different from the previous. Don't know if it will work, don't know if it won't, but again, I'm sort of new to this game and we'll just see what works. So let's go ahead and what's going on over here? So we can actually go, oh right, you can go ahead and expand if you wanted to. I mean, I don't really need to expand to. I mean, the good thing is we have a lot of money now and we also have a really, really good daily cash flow. Admittedly now though, we do have a lot more prisoners. We also have more maximum security prisoners as well, which is it's just a bit more worrying, I guess you could say. Also, I think our janitors are even more busier than ever. They're doing laundry non-stop, and that's one or two things which I think I need to go ahead and hire more staff for. So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and get myself quite a few more gardeners actually. I think we need like 3 more gardeners, so we're up to 8 gardeners. I'm also going to go ahead and hire myself 2 more janitors as well, just to help out. The good thing is it was nice to see we have 10 11 free guards, so I mean that's very much, that is very, very, very dependent on situation, timing of day, all that sort of thing. But it's also good to see as well the foreman is teaching people in with here at the workshop, so at least the workshop is getting some proper use now as well. So we're over here now, and as we can see we've got a lot of stuff we need to go ahead and do. So let's actually start building here. So we're going to start off here with the guard room, and as we can see, there's a lot of guards coming in and out of it. So we need an office chair, a chair, and also a filing cabinet. So just your quote-unquote your typical office furniture. So let's go ahead and put that in. So let's go ahead and grab myself the office desk. Let's rotate that around. Let's go ahead and put in a chair there, and then let's go ahead and put in 2 filing cabinets along the top there. That is that room done. All we need here is a visitor table for the parole, so that is quite easy to go ahead and put in. So that visitor table will go in the middle there, and that'll be interesting to see actually if anyone will become eligible for parole. I think that it will go ahead and help just the, what is it, the prison grading. It'll help the reforms, I guess you could say, hopefully, of the, just in general, prison. And I think it's good when prisoners do get released in the terms of, I mean, the reoffending rate isn't that high actually, which is good, and we're starting to see the reforms. It's up at 1, that's a start, and hopefully we can go ahead and continue to see that start to rise. That's really what I'm wanting to see. Prison value is also up at 320,000 as well, which is very, very nice. Next room along is the morgue. We need some morgue slabs. Never heard of those objects before at all, but we'll go ahead and see if we have them. And funnily enough, we do have them. So let's go ahead and just put a few of these morgue slabs in. Not really at all sure. We'll just put 2 of them in the middle of the room. I don't know how they're going to act or anything. I also don't really know who uses the morgue, so who maintains that? Will it be a doctor? Will it be... I really don't have any clue at all. Anyway, so next room we're on to is the mail room. So this room here, understandably actually, I've gone ahead and created all jail doors along here. We are going to go ahead and add in remote access to all this stuff as well when it gets up and functioning, which will be good. We can actually add another room in here for that. I think that would be quite a good idea to actually have. So that is good. That means 8 rooms in this area are filled out, which is really, really good to see. So mail room, let's go ahead and continue on with this. So for this we need a table, which we'll go ahead and stick along the bottom. Then along with that we need to go ahead and get ourselves a sorting desk, which is this desk here, which can go in the middle of the room, and then that works out nicely. So that is another room there complete. Going across the hall we need a table, we need shop shelves, and we also need the adjacent room. Oh, we need the shop front. Oh, right, okay. Right, so I understand how this works now. So it basically just gets stuck in a wall there, so that works out quite nicely. And then we can go ahead and build everything in the shop behind it. So we need to go ahead and add in a table, which we'll go ahead and do, and then we'll finally add in some shelves. So we'll add the table right at the back of the room, and then let's go ahead and add in some shelves. So these shop shelves are quite large, and we'll go ahead and stick these, we'll stick just one right in the middle of the room actually, and that is the shop also defined. Next room is the chapel. Now, first of all, we've not actually met the pre-requirements for this. This needs to be a 6x6, not a 5x5. So we need to go ahead and make some modifications. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and demolish some of these walls. Then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're actually going to move the library over one. So if I very quickly go ahead and grab library, you're going to get removed from there, and I'm going to place you into there. So what does the library need? What requires a library shelf and also a sorting desk? This is a room which, for example, doesn't need a jail door, and I'll go ahead and modify this quite shortly. So library shelf, I realise some of these rooms are actually in operation already now, which is interesting. I don't know if the, I understand what the morgue is now, so yeah, definitely I get it now. So it's one of those beds which a body gets laid on, and I thought like you would also need, for example, like a fridge as well, or not a fridge, but you know when the body's actually dead and it's been processed by whoever that may be, for example, I'm just thinking of like CSI, for example, when they've been processed by the officer who deals with that, who works out the cause of death, for example, they then usually get held in like essentially it is a large fridge. The bodies are just held in, you know what I mean, those cupboards. I thought there may be that for the morgue, but not really at all sure there. So let's go ahead and add in a library shelf, which we'll go ahead and do. So that is very similar to the shop shelf actually. Then along with that, we'll go ahead and add in a sorting desk as well. So this here works out quite nicely. That can go at the top of the room, and we're all good there, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and add in a second library shelf, I think, actually. So you're one at the bottom, we'll then add you in there, and then there's still room to actually get up to the desk there as well. So that is absolutely splendido. Final thing though is the chapel. So let's go ahead and first of all actually make this the requirement that it needs to be. So that's a 6x6 room, which is good. We then need to go ahead and add altar, pews and prayer mats, and I guess that's for all different religions there. So one thing which, I don't know if this is from watching, for example, too much Prison Break, or if it's from watching, you know, too much prison stuff in general, that I just get the feeling that chapels and religion is a big part of prisons. Not really at all sure why that is. Maybe it's just because of the fact that prisoners they've not really had the time to go ahead and allocate to religion before, whereas now because they're inside they do. But that's just my feeling, I guess you could say. I feel that, and I might be totally wrong here, but that prisoners often find a lot of time for religion anyway in jails. Anyway, let's go ahead and actually fill this room out very quickly. So we've got ourselves prayer mats here, which we'll go ahead and, I don't actually need to put in a certain amount, so we'll go ahead and add in that. We need to go ahead and add in a pew. You know, I could actually really make a really nice chapel here, and I think that's what I'm actually going to do. So we've got some prayer mats off to the side, we'll add some pews in there, and then finally we also need an altar as well, which the altar can go at the front here. So we'll go ahead and, oh, that's not symmetrical, is it? Oh, that's the most frustrating thing ever. Let's go ahead and move you. I really do want you symmetrical actually, but you're not. First thing is I do want to do though is we're not putting in that pew there, so I want to go ahead and add in some more prayer mats along here. We've also got pews, and then we'll go ahead and add in the altar at the front, even though it's not symmetrical to the pews, which is just the most frustrating thing ever. So we'll add you in there at the front, and this is quite a large chapel now, as you can see. So let's go ahead and extend this room. Let's define the walls. We're going to make another small security room in here, and then this area is pretty much good to go. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here. As we can see, it looks like prisoners are already wanting to come and pray, which is a good sign. We've still got quite a bit of work to do on this building though, and the rest of the prison in general, which I'll go ahead and finish off in the next episodes. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Prison Architect. Please leave a like, rating, subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into the description below and go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Facebook if you haven't already. That would be very much appreciated. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. That's all for this video, so I'm out.